The reason why the Hausa man spoke like that on the street is because they are in power and they have the powers of Nigeria right now. Power belongs to them, while the economy belongs to the Igbos. Let me tell you the truth. If the power goes to the Igbos today, the Hausa man will be the first to be fighting for separation because they like power so much.
Yes, I want to second to that. Take a look at the end bad governance. Where was it more intensified? In the north.
Beautiful.
Because the current president is not a northerner.
It's not a northerner. Okay. So when they started the end bad governance,
it was more
in the north.
Intensive in the northern state. It was violent.
When Buhari was in power and we did the EndSARS, there was no single place in the north that there was a protest.
Yes,
in fact, even Abuja that started it, they hired some Hausa youth to go and stone the people that were protesting in Abuja, and they scattered the protest.
Shawarin da zan ba Igbo in sun gane su yi hakuri mu zauna kamar inda muke zaune su suna neman arziki a cikin mu muna neman arziki a cikin su bisa wannan abun an yi hakuri a nemi tallafi ga ubangiji a samu saukin abu.
Normally Nigeria is a large population, is a large country, which means if you look into it deeply, know that it's not something that they will leave one person to be ruled. Nigeria is too large. Now, if Nigeria divides, I pray that for my own thing, I would say that maybe the thing will be better.
Welcome to Public Opinions on Nigerian News. The debate over Biafra and Nigeria's unity remains a heated topic, and with the House of Representatives proposing 31 new states, the conversation has become even more intense. In this episode of Public Opinion, we bring 3 expert guests to react to the perspectives of our 2 interviewees. I'm your host, Sam Tiago, and in the studio with me, I have
Caleb,
Edison,
Joseph.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Welcome to the studio. So we also discussed the proposed increase from 36 to 67 states and its potential impacts on governance, the country, and everybody in Nigeria. So let's get started. Mr. Caleb, our Igbo interviewee believes Nigeria is too big to be effectively governed and should be divided. Do you agree with this position? Why or why not?
Okay, thank you very much for this very important and very necessary question. You see, the idea of Nigeria being too large and diverse to be effectively governed is a long-standing debate. Whether Nigeria should be divided, it actually depends on various historical, political, and economic, social factors. Now, as you can see, Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups and about 550 languages, which has often led to tensions, conflicts, and governance challenges. Some believe smaller, more homogeneous nations would be easier to govern. Some experts have also argued that Nigeria's centralized government struggles to effectively manage this nation because of its diversity, its population, and it's always leading to mismanagement. Now, take, for example, the conflict. We have always had conflict between the Igbos and the Ishekiris, the Urubos and the Ijos. Now, if you come down to the Middle Belt, the Thieves, the Tarabas, they are always having clashes one way or the other.
The Jukuns,
land disputes and all. Go to the north, you hear about the Hausas, the Fulanis, the Kanuris. Very difficult to manage. Now, many regions, particularly in the south, they feel that even the resources, that is the oil that they produce, is unfairly distributed, fueling calls for greater autonomy and outright separation. Now, let us also go back to the 1967-1970 Biafra War. This was an attempt by the Igbo people to create an independent state, highlighting long-standing separatist sentiments. You can see the present movement by the IPOB people. Now, what is the cause of all this? It is because of they feel that there is no federalism, their matters are not being touched, their issues are not being discussed, and they feel marginalized. Now, you are saying that you asked an Igbo person on the streets, and his answer was that he wants Nigeria to be divided. But I want to say with in fact, it's going to be very difficult. Why do I say so? Even if you divide this country today, there will still be conflicts.
Okay, so you think the solution is not dividing the country?
Even though it will have its advantages to the people, but to us as a nation, where our economic strength is going to be really challenged. First of all, we have respect even abroad, wherever, because Nigeria is like the giant of Africa because of our diversity. But when we begin to go into smaller segments and groups, you discover that we become so weak even in the international space. So for me, for now, I think that is not the best solution, because let me be plain with you. Even if the Igbos go their way today, they will have conflict between themselves. You will discover that one family will say this family is favored in government, while this family is being marginalized. They will begin to break it into family fights now, and land disputes and the rest. There will never be unity. That is how the world is created. So we trying to find our strength in our unity is not a crime, but we should have true federalism. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, let's go on. Thank you so much for your impact. And this our second respondent, Mr. Edison. The Hausa respondent from Kano believes Nigeria is stronger as one and that different regions complement each other.
Shawarin da zan ba Igbo in sun gane su yi hakuri mu zauna kamar inda muke zaune, su suna neman arziki a cikin mu, mu muna neman arziki a cikin su. Bisa wannan abu an yi hakuri a nemi tallafi ga ubangiji a samu saukin abu.
Do you think Nigeria's diversity is an asset or a problem?
Well, thank you very much for having me. This is a very interesting question. To me, I would say that it's a problem and not an asset. Because you see, the diversity in Nigeria can be viewed as a problem rather than an asset for several reasons. I would say that firstly, the country diverse ethnic, religious, and cultural group have often led to tensions, conflict, violence, and many other vices that I can view to be a problem, or I can set asset via problem, but not something successful or something proper to do. So these divisions have been exploited by politicians and leaders for their own gain, leading to deep-seated distrust and animosity between different groups. Additionally, I would say that Nigeria diversity has also hindered national unity and development. So I would say that the country has struggled with issues of such as unequal distribution of resources, marginalization of certain groups, and lack of representation in decision-making processes. So I would say that it's a problem, not an asset.
All right.
And to add more, I would say that this has contributed to a sense of alienation and dissatisfaction among many Nigerians, leading to lack of social cohesion and hindered progress.
All right.
On the contrary, I think I would disagree with that. I would say that Nigeria is not the only country that has diverse languages or cultures. You understand? But the issue here we should be looking at is unity. How we can come together as one to see how we are going to promote the motherland. Do you understand? It's not about division or everybody going their separate ways. No, it will never solve the issue. It's about we, the Nigerians, changing our mentality towards how we are going to bring development and help each other to the...
Wait, Mr. Host, before you come in, can I please address this issue? I would not like us to pin this on the Igbos. That is the Igbos that are looking for separation because of marginalization. Because you said something that the Hausa man said he wants Nigeria to be strong, but I want to contradict that. The truth is that the reason why the Hausa man spoke like that on the street is because they are in power and they have the powers of Nigeria right now. Power belongs to them, while the economy belongs to the Igbos. Let me tell you the truth. If the power goes to the Igbos today, the Hausa man will be the first to be fighting for separation because they like power so much.
Yes, I want to second to that. Take a look at the end bad governance. Where was it more intensified? In the north.
Beautiful.
Because the current president is not a northerner.
It's not a northerner. So when they started the end bad governance,
it was more
in the north.
Intensive in the northern state. It was violent.
When Buhari was in power and we did the EndSARS, there was no single place in the north that there was a protest.
Yes,
in fact, even Abuja that started it, they hired some Hausa youth to go and stone the people that were protesting in Abuja, and they scattered the protest. Now that the Moraners are not in power, they came out for end bad governance.
They came out in mass.
So the truth is that if an Igbo man is the president today, the Hausa people will turn this country upside down. So what I don't feel we should be to pin it on the Igbos, that the Igbos are fighting for separation. Yes, they are fighting because they are marginalized.
If you may understand my point particularly, I don't know if you are referring to me, but if you understand my point, I mean that the problem here is unity. We need to come together and do things as one, not to blame it on Igbo or Hausa or Fulanis. We need to put those ideologies aside and see how we are going to move together as one Nigeria to see how we are going to beat the issue of being underdeveloped and then even raising poor people every day to the street. This is how we are going to come.
Okay, let me just cut you a little bit. The question then is it reliable? Is it achievable? Is it feasible that Nigeria will ever become a state or a country where everybody is united? I think the diversity, is it not too much? Can we beat that?
Yes, of course. If you ask me, I will say Nigeria can beat that. Why? If we are able to change the way we reason things, it must be me.
But Nigeria is already 60-something years, and all this while it's getting worse every day. So
please let me come in here. Okay. You see, the diversity in Nigeria has made governance and administration more challenging. The reason is because we have different regions and they have unique, needs and priorities. So somebody from north or somebody from south, what they need might, vary from what northerners need. So I think Nigeria to unite and then work together as one to achieve bigger things or better things, I'm doubting it. It's impossible.
I want to say that it is very possible, but we are the architects of our own problem.
Exactly.
Why did I say that? The reason why I said that is because after the war, the stakeholders of this country came together and said, no, we don't need to fight each other. The Igbos are our brothers. The Hausas are our brothers. The Yorubas are our brothers. What do we do? Since we have over 550 languages in this country, let us take the 3 major languages and make them the major playholders or the stakeholders of this country, which is the Hausa, the Yorubas, and the Igbos. Now, what is the meaning of that? It means after some years, a Hausa man can be the president of this country. After some years again, the Yoruba man can be the president of this country. Then after some years, we can unite together and say, okay, let us push an Igbo man. Then we will know that, yes, truly we are practicing true federalism. But what happened in the last election? We had a Yoruba man that ruled this country for 8 years. Because of the way the dynamism of this politics played, where a sitting president died, and Hausa man even went to the Niger Delta. Yet the Igbo man did not complain. After leaving Obasanjo, he went to Niger Delta. It now went to the north, which is the Hausa man, Buhari. He ruled for 8 years. Naturally speaking, I expected that northerners, the Yoruba, southerners would have come together and say all the contestants contesting in the last election should come from Igbo land. So that we know that yes, we are practicing true federalism. But what happened?
Okay.
You see what happened?
All right. Let's move on. I know this topic is very arguable.
Excuse me, please. Why on earth will a country be placed on 3 cardinal points? Do you think that if it is northern Nigeria that is ruling, definitely the other 2 will not be supporting that? So I guess all these things to me is absolutely wrong.
No, it's not wrong. After the northerners rule for 8 years and the southerners rule for 8 years, it is the thing you should be thinking about now that is very logical is that an Easterner should rule. And how someone don't.
All right, guys. This is becoming very heated. I love this. I love everything. So let's move on. I know that if we have to argue about this, we spend the whole day. Let's move on now, Mr. Joe. The House of Representatives recently proposed the creation of 31 new states. With the agitation for marginalization, some regions felt that the Igbo respondent said that Nigeria is too large to be ruled by one person, so they should divide Nigeria and be ruled. So, do you think this movement will improve governance or it will create more administrative problem?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I will say that in Nigeria, if you are being asked a question like this, it is not proper for you to just go ahead and say yes. Because looking at it logically, it is good. The creation of the state is a very welcome development or idea to me. But you may ask certain questions. How well can power be distributed, or the issue of development can come to power? Like you see, even as we have few states, 36, how do they allocate power, like politicians, they do hijack it to their own gain. Even if sometimes you see that a man will be contesting for a particular seat, and then he will bring his wife to also, when he have an opportunity to give to another man, he also bring it his wife to come and be maybe contest to the other seat that is remaining. So you see that if the creation of this state is also being practiced or is being done, you see that yes, they will drag it still to themselves, not minding the masses.
Mr. Joe, I want to contradict that. You know why?
No.
Because right about now, as Tinubu entered, he did what we call the local government autonomy. Right now, powers are no longer so much in the House of Governors, but in the local government chairman. Allocations have always been released to these people, but yet the problem has been from within. But yet, everybody wants to complain to the federal government and say they are being marginalized. So, you know that it's advantageous actually to create more states, because there will be more jobs, there will be more opportunities for the youth, there will be more allocations and all. But it will not solve the problem. Why did I say that? Because other little tribes will come out later and say they want their own state, even if there are only 2 families in that tribe. They will say they want their own state because the majority of that tribe refuse to give them something to eat. That is the problem of Nigeria.
Yes, there's something here. The bill has not yet been passed. The issue of creation of state has been brought forward for people, they said, for the public to look at it, and then for the House of Assembly to also look at it critically. So if you see that, yes, this social state, for instance, Lagos don't deserve another state, you will now say that, okay, other states need to come out of Kano too, and Lagos don't need to because Lagos is small. So if everybody comes together to bring up these issues and then we agree together, I believe this will move Nigeria forward and not backward.
Okay, let me just come in. Is there any proper channel to channel your opinions? Let's say we have our personal opinions. Is there any way do you think they are going to even work on these opinions?
Very good. Let me answer you. You know, these days we are in the era of social media. Now, let me tell you something. There is nothing, if you sit in your room and then you decide to tweet something.
Okay, I understand. But we had a protest, and bad governance protest. After the protest, is there any difference? Like, I was talking about the speaking out. It was a mega protest. What happened? Did it affect? That is the question I'm trying to know. Will this
actually it haven't amounts to anything productive? Because you see, Nigeria, all these issue of these proposed creation of a new state, to me, I would say there is a calculated plan, because they already plan it. So whatsoever thing somebody come out there from the social media or any medium to just voice his own opinion or his own notion in regards to that, nothing will work, because they already plan what exactly they want to achieve.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Let's move on. We'll not dwell so much on this topic. We have a lot to cover. So, Mr. Caleb, let's get back to you. With the call for Biafra still ongoing, now we're going back to the Biafra. Do you think creating more states instead of separation is a better solution to the problem? That is, you have to choose between creating states or separating, because we all believe that Nigeria, with all the diversity, is too big to be governed as one entity. Creation of more states or separation?
I have never been an advocate for separation, because separation will beget more separation. While Nigeria faces significant governance challenges, division is not necessarily a guaranteed solution. You see, a better alternative might be through federalism, where states or regions will have greater autonomy in managing their affairs while they still remain part of the unified Nigeria. This could address many of the concerns around governance inefficiency, resource control, and representation. You see, to me, that is the best solution. True federalism, where we'll be able to hold people accountable. Our people in our own states, our own local governments, those are the people that we should be holding accountable, because we want the allocation to come to them handful, so that we know that, oh, we are supposed to be having quality education, quality hospitals, but it's not there. You are the person in charge, not the president. You are the person that is supposed to give us good health. We are not going to be protesting about end bad governance, because when we start doing end bad governance against the federation, politicians will come and take over it. The next thing will become a political struggle. But when we begin to make our protest just in our local governments, then we know that yes, we are holding these people accountable. We will no longer care if the Hausas are the one leading at the federal level, or is the Igbos leading at the federal level, or is the Yorubas at the federal. No, we will know that from the federal level, what is ours came to us, and it is not being well distributed. So I don't advocate for separation, but for true federalism.
I don't advocate for creation of more states. Let's just, that is, you are going for restructuring.
Yes,
federalism.
there could be creation of more states if some states are more bigger than others, which is necessary, but there should be a limit to these things.
Thanks so much for the input. So we are moving on. Mr. Edison.
Yes, sir.
If Nigeria remains united, what steps should be taken to ensure fair governance and equal opportunities for ethnic groups?
Well, thank you so very much. To me, I would say that I believe that in order to ensure fair governance and equal opportunities for all ethnic groups in Nigeria, several steps must be taken. Like, for instance, I would say implementing policies and laws that can promote inclusivity and diversity in government institutions and leadership positions. This could involve the adoption of quota system or affirmation actions. And I will also say that investing in education and healthcare marginalized communities to bridge the gap between the different ethnic groups and ensure equal access to opportunities. And also to promote cultural understanding and tolerance through education and awareness programs to foster unity and cohesion among the different ethnic groups. I can also say that enhancing transparency and accountability in governance to prevent corruption and ensure that the resources are fairly distributed among all regions and ethnic groups.
All right, thank you so much. So moving on, Mr. Joe, what economic and political effects do you foresee if Nigeria expands to 67 states? Will this benefit or burden the citizens?
Well, for me, I think it will have a lot of benefit on the citizens because, like I said earlier, power will be bring down to the people more than ever because, you know, a lot of people will be able to get access to the opportunities, like the opportunities that will be created.
All right, thank you so much. So before we close, thank you guys for coming on today's show. I would like to get your last words. Mr. Kele, what's your final words and round up your points? So move.
Okay, as I said, true federalism is what we need. Let's have good representations at the federal level so that every single state or every single local government will be like a Sokoro. Actually, it's possible. I think I was at Abuja some time ago and I was surprised at what I'm seeing over there. It's not a bad thing if every part of this country is as beautiful as some places in Abuja and some places in Akwa Ibom, because I've been there also and I know how developed those places are. So if we have true federalism, this is achievable and we'll stop fighting each other in the name of power rotation and all.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Edison, let's have your final words before we close.
All right, thank you. To me, I would say that the creation of new states is something that actually, you know, supporting wholeheartedly. I'm supporting that with my leg, my head, and every part of me. It's because it's going to come up, you know, a kind of development that we really need. Because the good governance, the resources will reach every nook and cranny of the nation. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Joe.
Oh yes. I want to say that, first of all, we need to embrace unity. Secondly, we need to change how we reason. You know, a lot of people don't believe in Nigeria. They don't believe that things will work out. It begins at how they say there is power in the tongue. Believe in what you say. So if you see that a new Nigeria is possible, then stop blaming the leaders, but start acting like one who need the change.
Thank you, everybody, for coming on today's show. So the conclusion, this debate highlighted deep divided opinions regarding Nigeria's future. While some believe that separation or decentralization is necessary for better governance, others argue that unity strengthens the nation. The proposal for 31 additional states further complicates this discussion. So back to you, viewers. What do you think? Should Nigeria create more states or consider regional autonomy? Should Biafra be allowed to go separately, to go a separate way? Join the conversation in the comment section. Subscribe to Niger Anchor News to join us on Public Opinions for more engaging discussions. Thank you. See you in the next episode.